Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Vietnam Connection, your go-to source for insightful updates on major developments shaping Vietnam's economy, politics, society, and culture this week. First stop is economics news. Vietnam has officially launched its first free trade zone, and it's not in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. It's in the central coastal city of Da Nang. On June 22nd, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyen Hoa Binh announced the establishment of the Da Nang Free Trade Zone, or FTZ, a transformative initiative that spans nearly 1,900 hectares. What makes this FTZ remarkable is not just its scale, but its ambition. It combines zones for logistics, production, innovation, and digital technology, all backed by world-class infrastructure. Da Nang's FTZ is designed to function as a high-tech economic corridor connecting Liên Chieu Port, Da Nang International Airport, and the broader East-West Economic Corridor. It's poised to anchor the city in regional and global supply chains. What does this mean for Vietnam? This is part of Vietnam's ambitious plan to establish multiple free trade zones, FTZs, nationwide. This initiative signifies a significant shift in Vietnam's economic strategy and trade development because it is Vietnam's first real attempt at creating a globally competitive free trade model, akin to what we've seen in Singapore or Shenzhen. It offers incentives for digital infrastructure, logistics, innovation, and finance, all in one zone. At the launch, major Vietnamese players like Sun Group, BRG, IMEX Pan-Pacific, and Singapore's Turney Holdings signed MOUs to invest in zones focused on wellness tourism, green infrastructure, and innovation. By 2050, projections estimate that the FTZ could contribute up to a quarter of Da Nang's gross regional domestic product. Complementing this FTZ, the government is also considering the establishment of an International Financial Center, IFC, in Da Nang. With its favorable location, robust infrastructure, and business-friendly environment, Da Nang is poised to emerge as a regional economic and financial powerhouse. Next is Vietnam's GDP for Q2 2025. Vietnam's economy is showing signs of resilience. The government now estimates GDP growth will reach 7.6% in Q2 of 2025. For context, Q1 posted growth at 6.93%. But the bigger picture reveals a mixed story. Deputy PM Nguyen Hoa Binh described the government's previous target of 8% annual growth as a big challenge. The government is looking to reinvigorate core growth drivers, like exports, foreign direct investment, and manufacturing. Despite global uncertainty and trade headwinds, Vietnam remains a bright spot in Southeast Asia's economic landscape. Its ability to attract investment, especially in manufacturing and digital services, shows investor confidence. But caution is warranted. The government acknowledges it must stabilize the macroeconomy, curb inflation, and strengthen public services to sustain this pace. According to Vietnam Express News, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam's largest commercial center, just unveiled a detailed plan for $7 billion international financial hub. The primary goal is to become a leading financial center within Southeast Asia and a gateway for global capital into the region, rather than directly competing with established global powerhouses. It will span 783 hectares in the contiguous areas that are divided by the Saigon River, connecting the current downtown area to the new city center being developed across the river. The first phase will be built within 2 to 3 years, comprising of 9 hectares for headquarters of regulatory and supervisory authorities. Beyond infrastructure and regulatory frameworks, HCMC is also developing a human resource strategy for the hub in order to attract top talent. 5 training programs will be launched in 2025, and the city has dispatched officials to study financial center models in the UK, Hong Kong, and mainland China. In HCMC, it will offer a broad range of products and services, including banking, capital markets tied to asset and fund management, and more. Experimental mechanisms, sandbox, for fintech, innovation, specialized trading platforms, and derivatives will also be put in place. Now we turn to geopolitics development. Vietnam has officially been granted partner country status within BRICS joining a select group of emerging economies that includes Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. This reflects Hanoi's strategic push for deeper global integration, multilateral diplomacy, and expanded economic cooperation, especially with the Global South. Vietnam's appeal to BRICS members lies in its macroeconomic stability, investor-friendly policies, and track record of growth and its manufacturing capacities. By aligning with BRICS, Vietnam gains increased access to multilateral funding, development finance, and diversified export markets, particularly with countries like India, Russia, and South Africa, where trade is still underdeveloped. This strategic partnership will open major investment opportunities in infrastructure. Vietnam plans to invest over $120 billion in transport by 2030. Green energy. From solar to biomass, Vietnam is on a path to net zero by 2050. Digital innovation. The digital economy is expected to hit $50 billion by 2025. Tourism and education. Cross-border visa programs and scholarship exchanges are on the rise. Vietnam brings to the table a compelling mix. A population nearing 100 million, a stable export-driven economy, and deep integration into global value chains. As Brazil, the current BRICS chair, noted, Vietnam is a relevant actor in Asia and a natural partner in shaping the future of South-South cooperation. The partnership complements, not replaces, existing relationships with the US, EU, and ASEAN, underlining Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy, a flexible, balanced approach to global partnerships. According to Reuters, on June 24th, Vietnam's government said that it aims to sign an agreement with its Russian counterpart in August to build the Southeast Asian country's first nuclear power plant. Site clearance for development of the plant in Ninh Thuan province is to be completed by the end of this year, the government said in a statement. The move follows Vietnam's restart of plans to develop nuclear power plants that were suspended nearly a decade ago, as part of its efforts to ramp up its power generation capacity to support its fast-growing economy. The government has previously said it expected the first nuclear power plants with a combined capacity of up to 6.4 gigawatts to be online between 2030 and 2035. In recent weeks, authorities have launched a nationwide crackdown on counterfeit goods, revealing a crisis of trust in the Vietnamese market. Counterfeit goods are no longer the crude imitations they once were in Vietnam, but today's fakes are so meticulously crafted, from QR codes to certificates of authenticity, that even experienced consumers are being fooled. Earlier this month, lots of luxury fashion stores around Han Market in Da Nang had shut down in the wake of a crackdown on counterfeit goods, following inspections by the city's market surveillance forces. In Ho Chi Minh City, police busted a counterfeit motor oil ring producing over 220,000 fake products under major brands including Castrol, Honda, and Yamaha. Meanwhile, at Saigon Square, nearly 400 fake fashion items were seized. These items were handbags labeled with world-famous brands such as Chanel, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton, which were priced at $10.7 to $14.6 each. Additionally, other items were t-shirts featuring logos of well-known brands such as Lacoste, Boss, and Polo, were on sale for $3.8 to $5.7 each. Ho Chi Minh City Police also dismantled the counterfeit perfume network of individuals who had smuggled goods from China into Vietnam. They packaged the counterfeit perfumes under the names of Chanel, Bulgari, and YSL. The ring exploited social media platforms, online groups, and express delivery services to distribute the counterfeit items to customers in various provinces and cities across Vietnam. In Hanoi, a major clampdown on counterfeit and undocumented goods recently led to widespread shutdowns of confectionery shops. Furthermore, customs officials in Cao Bang Province, northern Vietnam, have confiscated 450 counterfeit Rolex watches smuggled from China, with an estimated value of over $1.7 million if sold as genuine goods. But it's not just fashion. Fake rice, substandard supplements, and even counterfeit medicines and medical devices have infiltrated markets. The counterfeit crisis has multiple layers. On one hand, it undermines consumer trust. On the other, it damages legitimate businesses, who now struggle to justify higher prices due to unfair competition. Small retailers and pharmacies are especially vulnerable. They lack the resources to verify every supplier, making them easy targets for bad actors. This situation is further complicated by influencers and e-commerce platforms, where fake goods often receive polished promotion, blurring the lines between genuine and deceptive marketing. One has to wonder if all these cracks down on fake goods by the authority is a way for Vietnam to show the US its effort to address long-standing concerns regarding intellectual property, IP breaches, which is especially important during the ongoing tariffs negotiation. More importantly, will these crackdowns have any long-term effect on changing behaviors of consumers and retailers nationwide? Although Vietnam is reported to have one of the lowest general obesity rates in the world, the country is seeing the fastest rise in childhood obesity in Southeast Asia. A shocking 38% increase in recent years, according to the US-based Action Network. In urban areas, the numbers are even more staggering, with over a quarter of children aged 5 to 19 now classified as overweight or obese. A U.S. National Center of Biotechnology information paper, published in 2023, reveals that, for Vietnamese children aged 5 to 19, obesity prevalence reached 8.1%, with overweight at 19.0% in 2020, up sharply from 2.5% obesity and 8.5% overweight in 2010. This rise in obesity reflects broader societal changes, including urbanization, sedentary lifestyles, and food marketing that often prioritizes convenience over nutrition. Urbanization and diet are fueling the shift. Lifestyle risks include high screen time, sugary drinks, fast food consumption, insufficient physical activity, 76% of kids, and poor sleep habits. Healthcare experts warn that this trend may place long-term strain on public health systems, with increased risks of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and social stigma. Efforts to address the issue include nutrition education, public awareness campaigns, and partnerships with food industry stakeholders. But for now, this is a problem that's growing faster than the solutions. And that concludes this week's episode of Vietnam Connection Weekly Update. If you find the information presented to be valuable, please hit the like and subscribe button, or leave a comment so that we can gauge your interest and incentivize us to bring you more future updates.